Hey everybody. Today we're going to be talking about the Keddie cabin killings. This is still an unsolved case, and there was a lot of harm done here. I'm going to start out by telling you the people that were involved. It was Sue Sharp. She was the mother. She was 36. Johnny Sharp was 16. Tina Sharp was 12, and Dana Wingate was one of their friends, and he was 17. Even though his name is Dana, he was a man. Um, Tina went missing from the scene, and they found her body 3 years later, but we'll get there. They took pictures of the crime scene, and we're going to look at some of those. Hey, Jackie. Hey, Black Widow. Hey, Monica. I'll go back over it. The people involved was Sue Sharp. She was 36. Johnny Sharp. He was 16. Hey, Rocco. And Tina Sharp. She was 12. And Dana Wingate, which was one of their friends. He was 17. Thank y'all for coming in. Please hit the like button. So this was a case where it was a bunch of cabins. Let me get this pulled up here. And this was Cabin 28. There's actually a movie called Cabin 28, and The Strangers is also based off of this. The Keddie murders was a quadruple homicide that occurred in Keddie, California between the April 11th and 12th of 1981. The victims were Glenna, Sue Sharp, Tina Louise Sharp, that was Sue's daughter, John Sharp, which was Sue's son, and Daniel Wingate, which was John's friend. The victims were found with wire and tape before being killed with a claw hammer. They were bound up. The murders were unsolved. The murders occurred in Cabin 28 at Keddie Resort. There's a big resort up there in California. The murders marked the downfall of, the once popular resort. The murders inspired the movie The Strangers. They have led to suspects have been the Smart and Bodie. We'll get to who those people are in a little bit. At the time of the murders, Keddie had a drug problem, and Smart was alleged a player. The mafia is also involved in this too. This was Sue, John, Tina, and Dana. This was the back of the cabin, and this was the front of the cabin. It wasn't very big at all. This is a picture of her family. She had actually just left the marriage. She was married to a man in the military, and apparently he was violent. So she left him, and she had moved into a trailer. And when she moved into the trailer, obviously it wasn't big enough. So she had the opportunity to move into the cabin, and so she moved into the cabin. And of course, the kids moved with her. There was rumors that she wasn't a good parent, that she just let the kids go and do whatever they want to do. I don't know if they did or not, but that's the first thing you see. That's the old gas station, the Keddie Resort. And this kind of gives you an idea of where the Keddie Resort was located in California. And now this is the cabins. There's a whole lot more cabins around here. And remember Campsite 18. That'll come and play later. But this would have been Cabin 28 right here. And you can see how close Cabin 27 was. And this is where the oldest daughter, Shelly, she was 17. She was spending the night at a friend's house. And so she actually lived. There's interviews with her. This was Sue Sharp, her body. She was actually front hog tied in the front. The only thing sexual about this is that they took her underwear off and shoved it deep down in her mouth, and then took John's bandana. There's word that there was duct tape, all this, so I'm not absolutely sure, but they had put something around her mouth with the underwear stuck deep down in her throat. This was one of the smart wives. She tells later a different story than what she told at the time. This is Tina Smart, the one that actually went missing from the scene. There was also 3 little boys in a room, and they were not touched. No one can figure out why. And later that morning, whenever Shelley come home, she seen the crime scene, and she went to check on the boys, seen they were there, so she went and had a friend get them out the window so that they were safe. And you can see it says Sharps. This was the Sharps cabin. It's now been tore down. But this is going into the Keddie Resort. Again, this is cabin 28, a little bit better picture. This is another picture of Sue Sharp. And this is where, this was a little resort. There was a bar there, a store where you could get gas and stuff like that. This is where Sue Sharp lived, Seabolts. And thanks to Mind Shock, I'm telling you, go sub up to them. They always do excellent videos. And this again, this shows you the closeness of the cabins. And one person had said that they heard a muddled scream, but they didn't hear it no more, so they went back to bed. And this seems odd. But the inside of the house, the kitchen drawer was pulled open. This is the crime scene. The door was not kicked open. So that tells me maybe that the door was locked. I'll get back to the StreamYard in just a minute. I just want to show you the pictures. But this was the actual hammer and knife that was used. And this is one that they had found later on. And this is how the bodies were. Now, his feet were crossed. There's such a thing as called a dead man's. Let me look it up real quick. Hope it pulls it up. It's called a dead man's fall. I don't know. No, it's not going to pull it up. But the feet will be crossed because when you fall the opposite way, so your feet will be crossed. Now, Unsolved No More is also a good channel. Go sub up. He thought that maybe Dana had been turned over, and that's why his feet were crossed. I can't honestly say, either way. He was a detective and everything. He probably knew more than me, but to me, it looked like a dead man's fall. And now this is Marty, and this is Bob. This is the main 2 suspects in the case. And this was the people that on Murder Row that they suspected too. A little bit of the crime scene where it's animated. Now, Marty had written a letter to his wife, the old lady I showed you. And he had stated that what they show you is that he stated, hey, Daydreamer, but he's doing decent work, Tony. But they had showed you just part of the letter talking about 4 lives have been destroyed because of you. He was writing a letter to his wife. But if you read the whole letter, they had 4 kids that wasn't his, and then he had some kids. So he was referencing his children, but they make it sound like he was talking about the murders. And this kind of gives you an idea, again, Mind Shock. This is the wife after she got older, and this is the daughter that survived, Shelly. And they found Tina 80 miles away from the house at Feather, something Feather. I'll get to it. But they found her remains, as a hunter did, and no one can figure out why they took Tina and then killed her. They don't understand why they took her. But you can kind of see where they would have come in the front door here. This is the living room. I'm not going to show the bodies, but if you go look, you'll find the bodies of where they were beaten to death by the hammer and killed, and their throats cut and all that. So it was horrific. They said the worst. This actually had closed down the Keddie resort. It was so horrific. Dana and John was getting a ride to Quincy, and then from Quincy they were supposed to be going back to Keddie, but the mother was under the thoughts of that they were going to spend the night with someone else. So apparently she wasn't suspecting them to be home. Now this is where the body of Dana was found, and then John was right here, and the mother was kind of over them. But the pillow is this, like, they think that because it come from the couch, they think that he started screaming real loud. So they grabbed the pillow to kind of cover him up so he couldn't scream loud. Because why else would you put a pillow down there to like cushion his head while you beat him to death? It don't make sense. Now the pictures you're seeing here of the drawings, one of the little boys said he had a dream where that was my chair, by the way. But he had a dream that the mom was fighting with two men, and they took Tina, and this is the men that he described that was in his dream, and that they had killed everybody and all this. And the police and other people think that the little boy actually got up and seen the murders. And so that's how he knew the drawings, but there's no one that resembles those drawings, and nothing's ever come of it. So this was blood on the door that was left. This is one of the knives that they started using, but you can see that it bent, so they had to get another knife. The hammer that they got was from the back porch, so it's like, why would they have stopped and go hunt for a hammer on the back porch? Did they come to the back porch first? Is that how they got in? This here's some of the things that were laying on the floor. This is Glenda's, or Glenda, I don't know why I want to call her Glenda's autopsy, showing how many cuts that she had. She had her throat slit. She was beat in the head. She had defensive wounds. She was stabbed. It was horrific. And this is just a simulation of the little boy that was asleep in the next room. There was 3 of them, actually. 20 years later, they still have not. This happened in 1981. So over 20 years now, they still haven't figured out who killed these people. And this is Shelly sitting at the grave. This is the one that survived, the older sister. But I was also wanting to show you just some pictures off of the internet. Probably should share those. You can see the blood here, and they think that, like I said, that they used this. They grabbed it off the couch to muffle the screams. Cabin 28, that's a movie. It, to me, doesn't depict what the evidence shows. but who knows? Obviously, no one knows about what actually happened. I just wanting to try to show you some pictures I haven't shown you. And The Strangers, I don't know if you've ever seen that. That's a crazy movie. Um, if you haven't yet, if you like scary stuff, bloody and gore, I'm telling you, Marty was a suspect because they had asked Sue to go to the bar with them, and she declined. And supposedly there was something going on between them, but of course he was going with a lot of people, and not to say anything bad, but him and Bob was in Vietnam, and they were getting therapy and stuff. This was Bob. I don't know why they got his face blocked out, but that was him, and they both were in Vietnam War. So I personally will say that I've noticed people that were in Vietnam War are more violent in the way that they do things. Um, this is actual picture of his Johnny's legs tied and his hands. Now, uh, Dana, his hands have been tied, but they were broke, and they don't know if he had broke them and was trying to get away or what. But that's why they suspect that these were tied. So this was actually like tape you would put around the wound or something. It wasn't like strong tape. I never understood that. But I guess let's look at the Keddie burgers here. Prez always does a great job. And then we're going to move on to some more things. Okay, we have the events. We have pictures. Again, the suspect supposedly of what the boy had seen. I don't know where that went. I downloaded something and it's messed up my computer. But this was April 11th, 1981. This went in from the 10th to the 11th of, or the 11th to 12th. And, okay, it says Sue was home with her two youngest boys and a friend of the boys, Justin. Justin was one of the little boys that was in the room. He was staying the night. Tina returned home from watching TV. Actually, Tina come home because Shelly told her it was time for her to go home. But she come home from cabin 27 around 10 o'clock. She was Sue's oldest son, John, and his friend Dana Wingate had spent the day in nearby Quincy, planning to return to Keddie in order to sleep in John's bedroom, which was the basement. John and Dana were the last to be walking along State Route 70 near Quincy. The crime may have already been in progress when they have arrived at the cabin, and they may have heard the disturbance while in John's downstairs bedroom. Now, that's kind of what goes along with the movie Cabin 28. The evidence was bloody fingerprints on the wooden post in the back yard. Going down the back steps, there was blood on the banisters. There was blood on the sheets of Tina's bed. There was blood on the doorknob of the door where Ricky, Greg, and Justin had been sleeping. So it makes me wonder if they looked in there and they, for some reason, just wasn't going to kill them. But yet they killed her, Tina. So it makes me wonder, okay, well, they're willing to kill Tina. Procedure of collecting evidence. The police found most of the evidence in the house the day after the murder. The hammer used in the murders was recently found on March 24, 2016. Evidence excluded. Anonymous caller told Butte County Sheriff's Dispatch the bones found in Feather Falls, that's where she was found, belonged to the missing Tina Sharp. The remains were later confirmed to be hers, but no one ever investigated the phone call. He could have just thought that this is not like evidence, that's why it's excluded. Um, Suspects are Marty Stewart, the one I showed you, one that was in Vietnam. He was a close friend and former partner of Sue, possibly killed Sue because she was trying to talk to Marilyn into divorcing him. Severin John Bode, it was Bo, not Bob, sorry, who lived with the Smarts, also had met Sue a couple weeks earlier. There were 3 bodies found inside of cabin 28. Victims Glenda Sue Sharp, age 36, her 15-year-old son, John Sharp, John's friend, 17-year-old Dana Wingate. The victims had been knifed, claw-hammered, and strangled to death. They were strangled with wires, and they were all tied together by the feet. Missing from the cabin was Sue's 12-year-old daughter, Tina. Tina's skull was found 3 years later, 50 miles, was 80, from the cabin. The case was never solved. DNA tested at the time period, and the case did not go to trial. Yes, technology can affect the outcome of the case because of DNA can be tested to see if the bloody fingerprints match the suspects. And this is a picture of her and her family, like we've already seen. This is a picture of where Dana laid. This is the cabin. And this was the suspect, supposedly. And you can go to keddie 28, and these are some of the references. I'm not a fan of Wikipedia, but it does give you an outline. Love the Wikipedia for outlines. Okay, has anybody got any thoughts on this? Has anybody got any rebuttals? Let's go to Wikipedia and check out and see what they have to say. If anybody has anything that they want to say about this case, then please let me know, because there is so much. I have pages and pages of just information. Sue was ready for bed. She was in her nightgown. And so she was, not planning for people to come by or anything like that. Johnny and Dana, they think this happened between 10 and 8. That is the best time that they can give, is from 10 until 8. So there was no injuries to Dana's hands nor his arms. He had no broken knuckles, fingers, no stab wounds. His throat was torn out with a claw hammer. So it's kind of like, to me, I think that, okay, Blackwood, that's fine. But I think that they were surprised. I don't know if they walked in and the murder was already going on with Sue, and so they tried to help, and this was overrun by the people that were doing it. There was word that Dana had stolen a bunch of cocaine from someone, and apparently there was a bunch of drugs being dealt in Keddie. So they think that maybe the mafia had come in, and because Sue was dating one of the mafia men and thought she was protected, and then there's word that Dana may have stole some cocaine from someone, possibly the mafia. There was multiple broken teeth on Sue. She had some knocked out. John had his jaw broken and he was strangled, and that was the cause of his death. Johnny was stabbed at least 2 times in the chest, the throat. He had skull fractures, beaten with a hammer. He was also bound with electrical cord running to his friend's feet, Dana. Sue was gagged very deeply with 2 items her underwear that was cut off of her. That's the only, again, sexual type thing that was going on. So, um, and then Johnny's headband was wrapped around her mouth. That was also shoved in her mouth. And she was bound with tape and electrical cord from her hands to her feet. Her body was discovered with a blanket over it. And usually, when people put blankets over people, they're ashamed of what they don't want to see what they've done. So that kind of tells me that they definitely knew, who this was. Um, Again, one couple woke up about 1:30 to hear a muffled screaming, but then went back to bed. All the lights were off. The phone was off the hook. I don't know what was going on with that, if they were going to try to maybe call the law or what was going on. But, and the drapes were closed. And Shelly was sleeping next door. She had a child. I mean, that really doesn't play into anything, but still. And then the boys got home, they said around 10. So this happened around, like I said, 10 to 8. And Johnny and Dana, I think, came in and this was going on. There was a fight going on and they tried to help and they got killed. Shelly comes home the next day and finds everyone. She sees 3 bodies and runs out the door. The door was unlocked. A lot of times the offender will lock the door whenever they leave. That's something that I've seen from Unsolved No More. They will lock the door. That way it's harder for people to find the bodies. So that seemed odd. Some of the clues was the body and the body positions. Dana's leg across, rolled up, Edmund's fall. I still am feeling that way. I don't know. Cushion was placed underneath Dana's head. Relation to each other. The television was not turned on. The cord was not used or cut to, apply in this murder. He was laying there watching TV, is what they thought. But after that, they had on all their clothes. I mean, it's like they just walked in the door and this happened. Um, so I don't think they were laying there watching clothes. Um, Still, what was the cushion doing there? I got questions. Dana was bound first, and he was strangled. He broke free. That's what I'm saying. The second ones they tied a lot tighter because I think that. Oh, I know. But they had on all their. I mean, like they had on their coat. They had on their shoes. It was kind of odd, like they had just walked in the door. And I'm wondering if they hit Dana and that's why he's got that dead man's fall. I know that I am beyond the educational level of Ken Manis, but I'm telling you right now, I feel like that's a dead man's fall. And why was Dana rolled over? Was there remorse of what they did because they put the blanket over her? Dana and Sue probably was killed by the same person, while Johnny was killed by someone else. And the offender, they think, exited by the back door, which I think that maybe they came in the back door as well. So, and then again, lastly, the movies Cabin 28 and Strangers. Um, Thank you, Tony. But let's speculate. Let's say that this was a mafia hit because Dana had stole drugs from the mafia. Let's just go with that theory. Okay, well, how did they know that they were getting back to that cabin that night? Because they were actually supposed to stay somewhere else. And show me your titties. No, don't. You're up on the thing. Don't show no titties.
She's seen them already. You know she did. You look beautiful today, sweetheart.
Thank you. I tried throwing some makeup, but I've noticed that my eyeliner is way down below my eye. But
Hey, we just it. This case is pretty interesting.
well, there's just so much to it. You can't figure out who would do it. I mean, there's suspects, and then it's there's evidence for this, and then there's evidence against it, and the police used to live in the cabin that she lived in. He rented it to her, but he's also friends with Marty, one of the
So,
suspects.
are we thinking that the sheriff or the local police department are a little corrupt?
Well, corrupt, and also I think that they did not do a good job on this. I think that they just blew through it. They didn't care. Um,
Are they like a small town? Because I know different small towns that even in Colorado when they did the J. Ramsey, they just went all marked all that area up, went
yeah,
all through the evidence.
I'm
So it
telling
feels
you.
nice.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I said it. I didn't said it.
Um, but yeah, they done a shitty job. I'm telling you, they did not collect evidence like they should. And then Marty said all of a sudden he's getting interviewed by the cops, and he's like, "Well, my hammer's missing out of my thing. Who goes and looks for a hammer on their day off? It don't make sense." And
Something's with that hammer.
yeah,
There's some kind of key. There's something significant about that hammer.
and
I
then
actually knew a boy that beat his grandmother to death with a ball peen hammer.
yeah,
He
I'm
ain't in
telling.
prison. He got
Um,
to go to the other place.
oh wow. Um, I know that there was a lot of violence used, and they do think that Sue and Dana was killed by someone different, and Johnny was killed by someone different. They think that there was more than one person in there, so they're thinking that there was two people, and then there was this suggestion or rumor that the mafia come in and had them killed, and one of the guys was freaking out, and
The mafia stuff. And the mafia comes and you disappear forever. I mean, look what happened to Jimmy Hoffa. I mean, look, you go fishing with the seas.
oh
But
yeah,
the mob, very much so, is still alive, stronger than ever today.
oh yeah, oh yeah. Um, I know that if it would, to me, it wasn't a mafia hit because they would have got rid of the bodies, but they
Yeah,
were all tied together by cord, and it
they
was
were
this.
they were
What did?
tied together by cord. Were they
Yeah,
dropped off or just where were their bodies found?
they were all in the living room. The mother was kind of laying odd; she was sideways, and then Dana was laying on that pillow I showed with the blood, and then Johnny was kind of laying in between them. It's
So this is when he committed murder and killed his girlfriend in front of his two kids, or her two kids, her kids.
Well, they think that Marty did kill her because she was trying to get his wife to leave him, which she actually did leave him later. And your
Mhm.
best witness is 1 years later when they have separated from that person
Oh,
and everything.
exactly.
Because
You
she's
just
telling
touched
me,
on a very good point there, Jen. A lot of people may not know that, but after someone's away from someone so long,
mhm.
let's say they ain't gonna talk to that person, then when they separate, that's when people get the evidence.
Oh, I know. And she's telling a different story. She's like, oh, they went this way. They wanted Sue to go to the bar with them. They come back by Sue's house. It's
Uh,
just a lot of odd stuff. I don't want to say because, it's a small community and everything, but still, I wouldn't feel comfortable with someone coming by my house that much if I didn't like them.
Yeah. I'd say that they had some kind of tie because small towns usually do. They look
Oh,
after
yeah.
their own. But when you're constantly labeled, like for instance, you remember the Jill Veerman case, Uriah. He was constantly labeled what he was, and he had to, he skipped town. So you know how you were saying you were wanting to move to North Carolina,
Yeah.
South Carolina? That's where that fucker lives.
Oh, yeah. There. I'm telling you, people think whenever I say back down south, I mean North Carolina. I lived in Bloody Burke. That's what they call Burke County is Bloody Burke. And people don't mess around down there. You don't do stupid shit or you will be dealt with. They don't care.
That's
There
how it
was
is
a
here.
huh?
That's how it is here because the marshal does the surrounding counties. He's the one, the town marshal, all of it. But it's like they try to take care of the people, that's in their community. Not so much as what this guy, you're talking about is,
Yeah.
but if we look at Don Wells, someone tried to say Don Wells was related to the sheriff and blah 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 blah. But I know a case involving kids and the woman and man. You know what I'm talking about. I can't discuss it,
Yeah. Yeah.
but how the man and woman, um, they left and went to Pennsylvania, and then they didn't get a very long time for what she did.
Well, there was a man that in North Carolina where we would go throw our trash away, and it was up on this a hill. Is this a road, and the name of it was Hill. But like that, we went by one morning and we seen the trash dumpster on fire. Well, turns out this man that had been going to Hickory right next door had been going with this hooker, and she gave him AIDS. So he set her on fire and put her in that thing, and I seen her burning. I'm
Holy
telling you,
shit!
yeah, oh yeah, I'm telling you,
You
it's
have some stories
crazy.
like us, like when everybody killed a guy, they shot at him to make sure no one could snitch and say it was one or the other. So they
Yeah,
all ended up. Jackie's mom and my dad were there at the time it happened, and it looked like my dad said it looked like a damn pig's like buried and coming out of the water, or not water, ground. Well, then
yeah.
they had a pig roast.
Oh my lord.
We come from a lot of yeah. Supposedly they made all of them take part in it and shoot them so no one could tell on each other and say that
Yeah,
someone did the
that
final.
happens a lot.
Heck, my dad had this friend that was crazier and shit. He was really tough, really tough. No one, Jackie's uncles didn't want to mess with him because they gutted one of them because he was sleeping with his old woman. But, he got R'd in prison. And that guy was so crazy that he went around and he found the guy that R'd him, one of them, took him around
Wow.
and he R'd him and then let everybody else and had him in the trunk of the damn car.
Damn.
These are the kind of motherfuckers I looked up to. Not too
But
good, yeah.
now my next case that I'm gonna go live with, I'm not gonna say the name of it, but um,
Let it out.
it's a biggie. It's another one that's still unsolved. I hate doing unsolved crimes, but that's what's been coming
You
up
better do
lately
one of
for me.
mine.
Huh?
I said, you better do one of mine.
Well, give me all the information again because I write stuff down and then I change
Yeah,
books.
I
And
think
it's in
we've got
book.
about 30 of them, don't we?
Oh yeah, yeah. I've got
Really?
right now on a different note because I'm doing Oktoberfest. I'm
Yeah.
doing 31 days of spooky. So
Uh,
I've got 19 right now horror things that I'm gonna do videos on.
I
Where
got my cards too.
huh?
If I got my cards too, I got the astrology ones, and those really stand out. Those tell a lot.
Well, now I kind of like to on the 31st. see if people are willing to. Hey, Craig, how are you doing? I know you finally caught a live. But I would love to do a live where we all go live and we're having a Halloween party.
Yeah, that's what we did the year we had it all together. I think we were still with Purple when that happened. And hey, Worldwide Ghost. And
Go check out his channel. Drop your link.
yeah, drop your link. I think I'm already subbed up, but I'll sub up. I think I've heard of Worldwide Ghost. Now, do
Oh
you
yeah.
believe in ghosts?
Oh yeah. I've seen a ghost. I've seen a lot of stuff actually.
Boiling. Is it hot where you're at?
Right now it's 78 degrees. It's getting colder and the days are getting shorter. But I'm going to 10 in bed, so I'm not missing the
I
sun.
think I'm going today now. You just had me take the fucking tanning bed. Babe, Jackie don't never complain. I say, let's go tanning, and he'll be like, all right. He's
I
got like
love it.
bottles of JWoww in there that he got himself. Like, you're not JWoww, honey.
No, I got it from.
Oh, we got for our daughter.
She couldn't.
We
She
found
like
them.
$70 a bottle, and I found it for $10 for all.
We found him for $10 for all of them. That's how bad he's on that channel. Now, I think this case is a good case for you to do. And I think it's awesome that I got to come over and catch one.
I know all the people were here. I'm so excited. I
I
clutched
know.
my pearls.
You clutched your pearls.
I clutched my pearls.
Where are those pearls? Oh, she don't want to tell us where those pearls are.
Put them on my butt. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
She's got her some anal beads. You know, Kim, one time, did you see it? She took me to a store, and it was a Hassler store, and there was these anal beads, and these other ones were just regular ones. I sure in hell didn't want glass ones. So I was like, do you have any wooden anal beads? And Kim went up and asked the guy that works there if he has anal beads, right?
Did he?
Yeah.
Yes, he found the wooden ones.
Oh my god. Oh my
It
god.
was so fucking funny because she's like, "Excuse me, my friend prefers the wooden kind or something like that." I'm gonna start doing that shit to everybody. I tell you what, I'm gonna be doing videos and I'm just gonna be putting that shit out there. I'm gonna tease y'all.
And the same to you, Craig. It's good to see you. I've missed you. I've been
I
busy as can be and couldn't
I
watch
know
some of the lives. I'm telling you, he's got some good content, wonderful content.
I'll have to watch it. I gotta find someone that can help me put my vision of my different cases in together. And I don't want to have to bug you because you are so busy all the time.
I'm telling you, I messed up and read it wrong, so I've got week 3's assignment already done, but I still have to do the discussion. And I'm thinking about going ahead and doing the discussion and just getting it over with, and then going to Vegas later. So I want to make sure that I got everything done for that. And
Well, what really sucked is that one person I was speaking to on my channel went live as soon as you went live.
I seen that.
And I think, damn, I was trying to promote yours and
That's okay. That's okay. I'm not worried about it.
I know
Um,
you're, I'm just a little irked by it.
he
But all
did,
these
Craig.
came
He had the
in.
wooden needle beads.
Does Worldwide have visions of ghosts?
I'm pretty sure he does.
That's-
Do you see that too, Black Widow? I was like, are you serious?
I think it was a wonderful piece to do.
But worldwide, I can always go back and watch like the replay crew for you because I'm telling you, I might actually do that tonight. Just do a whole thing and eat my supper in the bedroom and just watch and get me some popcorn and, you
Oh, that.
know, watch all the scary stuff.
Um, I was trying to click on his and then Black Widow, but I think Black Widow I'm sub to.
Yeah, you're
Is there
probably
a
subbed
link?
of all of them.
Yeah, is there a link to
Worldwide was over at Buddy's. That's where he come from. We
yeah,
all
I
come from
probably
Buddy's.
You knew.
everybody hit the
Thank
thumbs up.
you. Yes, please. Thank you, Black Widow. I'm getting ready to end this one, and I appreciate everyone that's been here. I can't tell you that enough. I got another live coming up probably this week sometime, and it's on a good case.
Better.
I'm trying to get permission to use certain content, but if he don't get back, I'm going to use it anyway. So, oh well. If he didn't answer me, he's not paying attention. See,
Nah.
Worldwide said I can sense energies and spirits if they're around. Yeah, Black
I
Widow's got another episode coming out tomorrow.
need to drop Black Widow's channel too. I'll
Black
drop it
Widow,
mine
drop your channel.
and I'll do it in mine. I think Jackie, are you subbed up
To who?
to Black Widow? I think we both are.
I am.
So who is
Worldwide, why you gotta
coming?
mention stuff like that? Now I'm hungry. Thank you.
Oh, pizza, chunky fries as we speak. I like fries. Okay, so I'm gonna try to send. Do you do telepathical communications? Worldwide Ghost. Here's Black Widow's channel.
Thank you,
Okay, if
Black.
it knocks me down, I'll be right back up because I'm trying to make sure I. But wait a minute, it won't even let me flip on it, babe.
Well, I'm getting ready to close it out. Worldwide, email me later. But I'm going to go ahead and close this one out. And I appreciate everyone that's been here. I really do. I'm telling you, the likes, the comments, everything. Tony, thank you for coming up. Jackie, thank you. Black Widow, everybody that's been here. I appreciate it. And I will see you next time.
All right, well, I love you. And I
I
think I'm
love
gonna go
you.
live to shit around. And then I'm looking forward
Okay.
to Black Widows and the other. It won't let me click on that with this new phone, but I'll get up on it.
Okay. I'll talk to you later.
All right, I love you, girl.
Love you. Bye bye.
Bye.